Good morning everyone. This video is for grade 9th. Students, how was the paper? How was the exam? I hope that you have solved most of the question, and I would like you to comment that how was the difficulty level of the question, how many questions you have solved, and how many marks you are expecting. In this video, I am going to share the detailed solution of section A, which is objective part. After going through the solution, I want each and every one of you to please write your score in the comment box. And also, if you have any suggestion like the way I have taught you, I think that you are capable of solving all the questions, right? So in that case, you can write your views in the comment box also. So let's see the first question. The first question is, which of the following bag contains more number? Option A is a bag containing all the integers between 1 and this. Option B, a bag containing all the rational number between 1 and 3. And the C option is a bag containing all the integers between this and this. Now, the basic concept of rational number is what? I told you there are infinite rational number between any two rational number. There are infinite numbers between any two rational number, right? Now 1 is my rational number, 3 is my rational number. So there are infinite numbers which lies in between 1 and 3. But if I talk about this and this, then we can count the number of integers, because we can count the number of integers over here. Similarly, for this range, we can count the number of integers. But if I talk about the rational number between 1 and 3, then there are infinite rational number, right? So the option is B. Here is the solution. If you can see that B, there will be finite number of integers between any two given number, but we know that there are infinite rational number between two different rational number. Hence, a bag containing rational number between 1 and 3 will contain more numbers. I hope this is clear. Question number 2. Some numbers are written within the box shown below. Which of these are rational number? I have to find which of these are rational number, right? So definitely root 2 cannot be written in the form of p by q. Rational number means which can be represented in the form of p by q. This I can easily represent in the form of p by q. Root 16 equals to 4 can be represented in the form of p by q. And this is a non-terminating decimal, but it is a repeating decimal, because if you can see that 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4 is being repeated. So this will be 1.234 bar. We can represent this in the form of p by q. Therefore, this is also a rational number, right? So the option is C. That is root 16, 3 by 5 and 1.234, 234 and 234. So here, this is my answer, alright. I'm going to share the question along with this sheet also, the solution sheet also, that you can find it in the description part of the video, so that later on you can match it with it. The third question. The cost of one piece of corn is rupees 45 under root as shown in the figure. You gave shopkeeper rupee 6.71 for one piece and left the shop. Which of the following is correct? Now we know that root 45 is a non-terminating, non-repeating decimal, which is an irrational number, right? And I have paid 6.71, which is a rational number. So this is irrational, this is rational. Now you paid more than the actual price, you paid less than the money actual price. I cannot say, because one is rational and one is irrational. Can you subtract rational and irrational? Can you subtract 3 minus root 5? No. That was the very basic concept I have told you, right? See, before PT1 exam itself, I have shared a video with you in which I have given few sample question, and I told you that direct question are not going to come this time. all the concepts I have taught you. Only the difference is that I have not given you the direct question, right? Now you can get an idea that in future what kind of question you can get in the exam. So the answer is cannot say, because one is rational and one is irrational, because this 6.71 is rational and this is irrational. So the option is C. Question number 4. Observe the number line given in the image below. In which region does the number 3.45 lies? Now, you know, if I have given you a question that represent 3.45 in the form of P by Q, you must have done that, right? The same thing we have to do over here. Only to create confusion, I have interlinked this question with the number line, right? So, first of all, what I'll do, I'll solve this 3.45 in the form of P by Q. If you can see this, I have done here 3.45 bar, which means 3.454545, right? Now again 100x equals to this much. Then if you solve, the value of x going to come equals to 38 by 11. Now this is my 38 by 11, this is my 20 by 11, and this is my 40 by 11 in the question. How many blocks are there equal at an equal distance? 1, 2, 3, right? So I can say that this is 25 by 11, this is 30 by 11, this is 35 by 11, and this is 40 by 11, isn't it? The same I did over here. Now 38 by 11 will fall in which region? Definitely after 35 only. So it will fall in region D. So this is my answer, right? Again, the last question, next question I mean, which is, I want to cut a piece of cloth of length exactly of root 13 meter. Decimal expansion of root 13, which is an irrational number, is given below. Is it possible to cut such a piece of cloth? Well, can you represent root 13? Can you represent root 11? Can you represent root 5? You remember? I told you a spiral method to represent all the irrational number. Yes. So definitely, yes, it is possible, because root 13 can be measured. Definitely it can be measured. To confuse you, here I have written root 13 in the form of irrational number. That is non-terminating, non-repeating number. So by looking into this, if you have not gone through that particular topic, if you have not studied spiral method, then you may opt for this, because you say that okay, it is non-terminating, non-recurring number, then definitely we cannot, but we can represent root 13 by spiral method, isn't it? Therefore the option is B. Yes, it is possible. If you can see this, we know that if we take base equals to 2 and this height equals to 3, then this 9 plus 4 will give you root 13, right? You can take base 1 and height 1, and then you can move ahead like that also. My motto was just to show you that definitely we can represent root 13 on the number line. So by using Pythagoras theorem, we can represent that, right? So this is the solution. Moving ahead, question number 6. If you can see this, how many irrational terms are present in the expansion 3 plus root 5 and root 2 plus root 3? So this is the question. How many irrational terms are present, right? Now option is 1, 2, 3, 4. Whenever you get question like that, using distributive property, expand this like I did over here. If you can see that this is the question, root 3 plus root 5 and root 2 plus root 3. Now if you expand this, then root 3 into root 2 will give you root 6. Then root 3 into root 3 will give you root 9, which is 3. Root 5 into root 2 is root 10. And again root 5 into root 3 is root 15, right? So this is the expansion of this. Now this contains how many irrational number? 1, 2, 3. So the option is 3, and this 3 is my rational, therefore 1 rational number and 3 irrational number. So the option is 3, C. Question number 4 is, after rationalization 5 by 6 plus root 2 is equivalent to what? So rationalize it. So when you rationalize it, see I had it over here. This is plus, so definitely by minus. When you rationalize it, you will get this as the answer. So answer is B of question number 7. Question number 8. We have the following information about a polynomial. Polynomial is in one variable, alright, and degree of the polynomial is 5. You have to find the number of terms, maximum number of terms. Then we know the standard form. I have taught you the standard form of a polynomial. So if the variable is 1, then x is the variable and term degree is 5. That means the highest degree of the variable is going to be how much? 5. So in decreasing order, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So how many terms it contains? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the answer is 6. Question number 9. In an incomplete division of a polynomial is shown in the figure. Which of the following expression should be in the place of A and B? Well, this kind of question I have given you as a sample question also in my previous video. I hope that you have solved the same. Right? So if you solve normally using a long division method, you are going to get answer as D. So D is the right answer for this question. You need to solve this and you will get the answer as D. Because this is 2x, then this is 2 to the 4 x cube. So 4x cube definitely going to be the first part, and after that likewise you will get the answer. Alright. After that, observe the following relation between the polynomials and fill in the blanks shown below with the correct option. So this is my question number 10. Now in order to answer that question, I have to say that this is the dividend, this is the divisor into question plus remainder, isn't it? So dividend equals to divisor into question plus remainder. Now I have to find the solution for the same. So this is my question. If you see this, then here x to the power 5 plus x to the power 4 plus this. Now I can say that this is my divisor, then definitely x plus 1 is a factor of this, isn't it? So x plus 1 is a factor of this. So I can say that if I'll put x equals to minus 1, then we are going to get remainder as minus 6. The same thing I did over here. If you'll check that, x to the power 5 plus x to the power 4 over here, this is my main equation. So at place of x equals to minus 1. Why minus 1? Because this is my divisor, so it is a factor. So x plus 1 is going to be 0. From there you will get x equals to minus 1. If you'll put this in the given equation, that is dividend, the remainder is going to be minus 6. So if you'll solve that, you will get 4 as the answer. So this is my answer, which is 4. C. Question number 11. The cuboidal room of Harsh has a volume x cube minus px plus 6. And the length of the room is given by x minus 1. What is the value of P? Now in case of cuboid, do you know the formula for volume? The formula for volume is L into B into H, right? So the formula for volume is L into B into H. If you see this, now we can say that length is a factor of V, L is a factor of V, isn't it? L is a factor of V. Now at place of L, what you have, that is x minus 1, which means x minus 1 is a factor of x cube minus px plus 6, which means by putting x equal to 1 in the given equation, the remainder is going to be 0. The value of this equation is going to be 0. The same I did over here. If you can see that by putting x equals to 1 over here, I am getting p equals to 7. So this is the answer. Now question number 12. A polynomial px is such that p1, p minus 2, p3 equals to 0. Which of the following can be the px? Definitely we know that since it has 3 zeros, then therefore it contains 3 factors. Since this is 1, so it's going to be x minus 1. This is minus 2, then it's going to be x plus 2, and this is plus 3, then definitely it's going to be x minus 3. Because in case of factor, we equate this with 0 and we get the value of x. Right, so the option is B. The correct option is B. Now moving ahead, if I say this, that question number 13, Satya is factorizing the polynomial x square plus x minus 20 by splitting the middle term. Which of the following should be her first step? Definitely middle term split, you know, this is minus 20. So factor of 20 is 5 into 4. And this is plus sign. So definitely plus 5 minus 4 is the right answer. So 13 C is the right answer. Question number 14. A polynomial x squared plus ax plus b has been divided by x minus b as shown in the figure. The final remainder obtained is c and the quotient is x minus q. Now, which of the following has p and q as zeros? That you need to find, right? Question number 14. Now, if you see that over here, from the long division method, we can say that this into this, that is divisor into quotient plus remainder is your dividend, right? So if you'll shift this c to that side, then what option are you getting? X squared plus ax plus b minus c. So this is my right answer, which is option number B. Question number 15. I have to read the statement. I have to choose the following correct option. Now, this is my car and this is moving on a road, right? This coordinates. So the value of y is different and the value of x is going to be always 3. Now, as you can see that a y equals to 3. So this statement is wrong because we have x equals to 3. This line is every time we are getting x equals to 3, isn't it? So this I have told you in my video also, that you need to be very careful, and also in the class also. A car will move with y equals to 0. Again, we are dealing with x equals to. We are not dealing with y equals to. So the option is both are incorrect. That is option number 15. Because here the car is moving on a line parallel to y-axis, which passes through 3 and 0. So the coordinate, x coordinate of the line will always remain 3, and the y coordinate of the line are not fixed and can take all the values. As you can see, for all the values we can define it. Now question number 16. Which of the following equation represent the side CD of a square plotted on a graph? Now this CD. Now whenever you get question like that, very easy. What are the 2 points which are lying on the line? The point D and C. What are the coordinates of the point D? That are x equals to minus 4, y equals to 0. And this is x equals to 0 and y equals to minus 4, isn't it? Now check both the points. Put the value of both the points in all the 4 equations and see which equation satisfy both the value. I'm saying, right? So when you will do that, you will get option number D. That is, equation of the line CD will be the one which have the coordinates of the point C, 0, minus 4 and D, minus 4, 0. Both as its solution. So the solution of the line is this much, right? So what I did over here is that I just found the coordinates of the points which are lying on the line CD. And after getting the coordinates, I put one by one in all the equation. I checked that whether it satisfies, whether we are getting equals to RHS or not in all the option. So the correct option for the particular question is option number D. Question number 17 is that X coins for rupee 10 and Y coins, Y rupees 5 coins are shown in the figure. Total value of the coin together is 300. You have to form the linear equation in 2 variables. Now X coins for rupee 10, which means 10x. Now 10x I have here. Then 5 for y number of coins. So 5y. So 5y equals to how much? 300, right? So D is the correct option. Now moving ahead. This is my question number 18, that the coordinates of Rahul home and his school are shown in the figure. Which of the following can be the equation of the road Y? I have to find the equation of road Y, isn't it? Now the 2 coordinates are given. I have to find the equation. Now you have equation given. Now put the value of x and y and this also x and y in both the equations and see which equation satisfy both the point. The equation which satisfy both the point is the right option. Here option B is the right option. If you do that, you will get this, right? So if you can see that, here option B is the right answer. Equation of the road Y will be one which will have both coordinates of home and school as it is a solution, right? So that was the basic thing. Now read the statement given for the linear equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0 and choose the correct option. That is 1. For a equals to 0, line representing the linear equation will pass through only quadrant 2, and this is equation number 2. Now if you see this, for equation ax plus by plus c equals to 0, when a equals to 0, then this will be 0, then we have by equals to c equals to 0, then y equals to minus c by b. This represents a line which is parallel to x-axis and will be present in only 2 quadrants, right? So when a equals to 1, b equals to 2 and c equals to 4, we can plot the line and see it lies in the 3rd quadrant. So therefore the option is C. That is, the option is C. Both 1 and 2 are correct. That is both are correct. Both the statement are correct. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Now, the third and the last question, which of the following is correct for linear equation ax plus by equals to 0? So that is the question. For any value of a and b, the line will always pass through 2nd quadrant, and line representing the linear equation will always pass through 0, 0. Definitely at place of x and y, if you'll put 0, 0. At place of a and b, if you'll put 0, 0, then it passes through the origin, right? And if you'll say x equals to y, try to put if a equals to b equals to 1, 1, then x is going to be equals to minus y, right? So you just plot the graph of that. By plotting the graph of that, you will get that the option C is right. Both 1 and 2 are correct. Kids, this is the solution of the question of your PT1 exam. In case of any doubt, please do not hesitate. Write your views in the comment box. I know that it's summer vacation time, but definitely there will be a surprise for you all. I am very soon going to come up with a surprise, and I'll make sure that you will keep practicing mathematics in this vacation. Thank you. Stay safe and take care of you and your family.